Well, first tonight, a Washington County deputy who's charged with manslaughter for a deadly on-duty shooting pleaded not guilty late this afternoon.
Danny Spiewak was in the courtroom, joins us live with a closer look at the charges and what happened. Danny.
Well, this 15-minute court appearance today here in Washington County was the first time we've seen Deputy Brian Crook appear in public before a judge to answer to the second-degree manslaughter charge that came down, returned by a grand jury just last Friday. His attorney says that it appears likely this will head to trial eventually, though this is just the beginning of the court process. According to court documents in the charge, Crook is accused of acting with negligence in the 2018 shooting of Ben Evans in Lake Elmo. The BCA investigation showed Evans was armed and talking about suicide before Crook fired shots at him, though the BCA says that Evans refused commands to put the gun down. Crook's attorney told us that his client had no choice but to shoot. Ben Evans was an EMT firefighter and a young father. His family did not release a statement today, but their attorney released a statement from the family yesterday saying that they are waiting patiently and hoping for, quote, justice. Now, the Evans family was possibly in court today. We weren't able to see. There were probably a crowd of 50 to 75 people in court today, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office was there as well. They told us, one of their representatives, that Brian Crook is on paid administrative leave. As of Monday, he is no longer working. He had come back to duty after the shooting, but is no longer working. But he is out of custody. He was not taken into custody. He is free this afternoon. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Danny.